So Durty Nelly's, eh? Famous Irish pub. Big reputation. Some say it's a tourist trap, others a must-visit. It's a bit like how Dubliners feel about Temple Bar, innit? Great for tourists, but a bit pricey for locals.
Yeah, that's right. Durty Nelly's attracts visitors from all over.
Right.
But this idea of it being a tourist trap, it's interesting because it's not just about the price, is it? It's about authenticity as well.
Right, because a pint of Guinness at Durty Nelly's will set you back, what,
Yeah.
like €7?
Yeah,
Whereas in a less touristy pub, you're probably looking at closer to a fiver.
exactly. But here's the thing. Despite the higher prices, people rave about the atmosphere. They talk about its old world charm, describing exposed beams from as far back as the 17th century, a roaring fireplace, walls covered with antique farming tools.
Sounds cozy.
Oh,
But is it all a facade to lure in the tourists?
well, even if it is, they're doing a good job because the reviews consistently praise the food and drink, for example. Their Irish stew is supposed to be legendary, slow-cooked with tender lamb and local vegetables. And then there's the seafood chowder, made with fresh catch from the Atlantic.
That does sound tempting. What about the service? I imagine that can make a big difference in a pub.
Absolutely. And from what I've read, the staff at Durty Nelly's are known for being friendly and attentive. The bartender, in particular, is said to be very knowledgeable and helpful with recommendations.
Okay, so maybe it's more nuanced than just a tourist trap then. Perhaps it's a place that manages to cater to tourists, while still retaining some authentic Irish charm. But where is this Durty Nelly's anyway? I'm assuming it's in Dublin.
Actually, that's a common misconception. Durty Nelly's isn't in Dublin at all. It's located in County Clare, in a village called Bunratty.
Bunratty, now that you mention it, I've heard of that. Isn't that where Bunratty Castle is?
That's right. Durty Nelly's is just a stone's throw away from the famous medieval castle, so it's not just a historic pub. It's in a historic location.
So for our listener who might be planning a trip to Ireland, if they want to experience Durty Nelly's, they'll need to venture outside of Dublin.
Precisely. But if they're already planning on exploring the west of Ireland, then County Clare and Bunratty should definitely be on their itinerary, especially if they're interested in history.
Sounds like a fascinating place. I'm particularly intrigued by this claim that the Guinness at Durty Nelly's is something special. Is that just marketing hype? Or is there something to it?
Well, some say it's all in the pour, you see. The traditional two-part pour, letting it settle just right. Others claim it's the water in County Clare, but honestly, I think it's the whole experience, isn't it? Having a perfectly poured Guinness in a pub that's been around for centuries. That's what makes it special.
I can see that. So we've talked about the atmosphere, the food and drink, the location. But what about the history of the pub itself? How far back does Durty Nelly's actually go?
Oh, it's not just old, it's ancient. We're talking over 350 years.
Wow.
Durty Nelly's dates back to the 1600s.
Wow. That's even older than America. To think that pub has stood through wars, famines, revolutions. It must have some stories to tell.
It really puts this whole tourist trap debate into perspective, doesn't it? Because on the one hand, you have this place that's steeped in history, a true piece of Irish heritage. And on the other hand, you have the inevitable commercialization that comes with being a popular tourist destination.
It's a tricky balance in it. How do you preserve the authenticity while also making the experience enjoyable for visitors?
Exactly. And it seems Durty Nelly's has found a way to do both. They've managed to retain that historical charm, those unique features that make it special, while also offering a welcoming and comfortable environment for tourists.
So let's go back to our listener for a moment. What would you say to someone who's on the fence about visiting Durty Nelly's?
I'd say if you're looking for a truly authentic Irish pub experience, one that's rich in history and atmosphere, then Durty Nelly's is worth considering. Yes, you might pay a bit more for a pint, but you're also paying for an experience.
And if you're already in County Clare, visiting Bunratty Castle, it seems like a no-brainer to pop into Durty Nelly's and soak up the atmosphere.
Absolutely. And speaking of County Clare and the surrounding area, there's something else about Durty Nelly's that often gets overlooked.
Oh, tell me more.
It's actually named after a real person, a woman named Ellen, who ran the pub back in the 17th century.
Durty Nelly. What an intriguing name. I'm assuming there's a story there.
There is. According to local legend, Ellen was known for her, shall we say, unconventional cleaning methods.
Ah, so that's where the Durty Nelly's comes from.
Yeah.
It's amazing how a name can carry so much history and intrigue. It really adds another layer to the pub's character.
It does, and it's just one of the many fascinating details you'll discover when you delve into the story of Durty Nelly's.
So for our listener, this has revealed that Durty Nelly's is more than just a pub. It's a historical landmark, a cultural icon, and a testament to the enduring spirit of Irish hospitality.
Indeed. And if you're planning a trip to Ireland, I'd highly recommend checking out our Ireland travel newsletter. It's packed with insider tips, hidden gems, and everything you need to plan your own unforgettable Irish adventure.
That's a great resource for anyone wanting to explore Ireland beyond the usual tourist traps. And who knows, maybe you'll discover your own Dirty Nellies along the way. Sounds like you really need to experience it to truly understand it, eh? More than just the building or the food or even the drinks. It's the whole package.
That's right. It's the history, the characters, the stories. It all comes together to create something truly special.
And for our listener who may be planning a trip to Ireland, knowing that Dirty Nelly's is in County Clare, near Bunratty Castle, might be the deciding factor in their itinerary.
Absolutely. If you're looking for a truly unique and immersive Irish experience, one that combines history, culture, and a touch of legend, then a visit to Durty Nelly's is a must.
And even if you're not a history buff, I imagine the atmosphere alone is worth the trip.
Oh, definitely. It's a place where you can relax, enjoy some good food and drink, and soak up the unique ambiance of a truly historic Irish pub.
So to wrap up our look at Dirty Nelly's then, would you say it's a tourist trap or a treasure?
I'd say it's a bit of both, really. There's no denying that it's a popular tourist destination, and that comes with certain expectations, but beneath the surface, there's a genuine charm, a sense of history, and a welcoming spirit that make Dirty Nelly's a truly special place.
Well said. And for our listener, if you're still undecided about Dirty Nelly's, I encourage you to do some more research, check out the reviews, and see what other travelers have to say.
And don't forget to sign up for our Ireland travel newsletter for more tips and insights on planning your trip. Who knows, you might just discover your own hidden gem, just like Dirty Nelly's.
Thanks for joining us.